Hey guys, it's Meg. What's up? What's poppin'? Welcome to the podcast. Everywhere you go, classics seem to be following us. They're all over social media, they're hitting the theaters, but why? I told you guys, this month of May, I think because of the month of May is Get Caught Reading, we're just gonna spend every single week this month talking about books. So we did the Get Caught Reading. Last week, we did one on Jane Austen. Today, we're doing classics. And then next week, I thought it'd be fun to talk about the book to movie pipeline that seems to be happening so much lately. Our first source we have is panmacmillan.com, and it is What Makes a Classic. This article was published April 26th of 2023, because I feel like we should go back to the basics. Because I feel like when somebody says a classic, everyone thinks of Frankenstein, of Dracula, of Jane Eyre, of Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice. What else is there? The Great Gatsby. Anything by Oscar Wilde. So to me, I was like, well, why are these books considered classics? Is it because they're old? Or is it because there's something more to it? So according to this website, the definition they gave for what a classic is, and I quote, "A classic novel is a book that has stood the test of time because it's so good, has a gripping storyline that is expertly crafted and brilliantly expressed." And then it kind of just gave a bunch of criterias. They said ingredients, which I thought was really cool. It's like a little recipe. But this is what else the website said. It said that classics have a certain level of complexity and depth which transcends the time it was written in. There's universal themes of love, morality, death, and adversity. They're also saying that it could be the first of its kind, it's inventive, or the most influential example of a particular genre or style. And that is everything I took from that first source, so we kind of have an idea of what we're talking about, what we're going into. The second source is medium.com, and this is classic literature is being revived amongst the youth, but not in the way you'd expect. And this was written last year, November 15th of 2025, and this was just somebody's personal opinion, and I honestly agree with 90% of what is said. This article started talking about how classics are often associated with a quote-unquote dreary classroom. And I feel like that's so true. I feel like when you think of classics, everyone's just so intimidated by them. They're like, oh, it's because we were forced to read them in school. I can't tell you how many times they made me read The Great Gatsby. I think I've read that book at least twice or 3 times. And I'm going to say something a little crazy for The Great Gatsby. I'm going to put it out there in the world. I don't think the green light is a symbolism. I said it. I don't think the green light actually has much importance that everyone's reading into. I think we're reading too deep into the green light. I think the man literally was like, I need a light that's not red and not a normal light color. What should it be? And he looked outside his window, saw a green tree, and was like, perfect, a green light. That's my personal opinion. I don't think it's symbolism. And I will die on that hill. Hey, what's up? It's Editing Meg. And you know what other classic thing I don't agree with? Wuthering Heights is not a love story. It's not a romance. I said it. Here's why I say that. The whole reason why we even find out about Heathcliff and Kathy and everything about them is because that man, I forget his name, shows up because he's renting the Grange. When he gets to the Grange, Nellie is supposed to be taking care of him. So when she comes to bring him tea, he's like, nah, I don't want the herbal tea. I want the verbal tea. What is up with that man up top? And she sits down instantly and spreads out that whole family's life story to this man that she just met. And to me, Wuthering Heights is just a giant gossip session. And I will die on that hill. This article, before skirt, also was saying how many adults are choosing to reread the classics they were forced to read about in school. And I honestly agree, because I reread Wuthering Heights before the movie came out in February, because my best friend wanted to read Project Hail Mary before Project Hail Mary came out, so I thought we were doing the same thing for Wuthering Heights. Turns out we weren't, and she said, you got that, girl. And I think I read Wuthering Heights in 11 days, mostly because I borrowed it from the library, so I only had 14 days to read it. But I was actually so surprised how much I actually understood and enjoyed it. Because I remember reading it in high school and being so confused, especially because all the characters just have the same name. But now that I reread it, except for Joseph, I have no clue what that man said, and that whole entire book. We'll never understand it. People said don't read it with an English accent, and I tried every accent under the sun, and I still have no clue what that man said. but I actually really enjoyed the book. I want to say I gave it like a 4 or even a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was pretty good. And I lost my spot because I got distracted. They're saying here are some reasons that we could be choosing to read the classics. Number 1, a lot of the classics are brought up in popular shows. And an example they gave is an anime series called, I'm going to mispronounce this, Bungo Stray Dogs, where apparently each character is based off of a real author. And I really want to look this up and watch this series because that sounds so cool. Because not only do these characters have the author's name, they apparently also have the characteristics of the real life author. I looked it up, it is true. And not only that, the anime also apparently references the themes of the books these authors wrote too. So now I really want to watch this. They didn't give this an example, but I feel like Gilmore Girls, Rory's always reading something, and there's so many classics being brought up in that show. I do see it. I feel like a lot of shows are referencing classics. I didn't do any other number ones, but they also said that a lot of the YA books are taking inspiration from the classics, and there is a lot of retellings. And a retelling they gave, and as an example that I didn't even know was one, is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong, which is apparently a Romeo and Juliet retelling, just set in a different time in a different place. But it's true, I feel like there's so many retellings coming out. There's a lot of Greek mythology retellings coming out right now too. They also said that the enemies to lovers trope, which is extremely popular and a lot of people love, it actually comes from Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. It's crazy to think that that trope is that old, and it probably went back even further because she probably drew inspiration from something. And then they also said that the dark academia aesthetic is so popular, and that this originates from The Secret History by Donna Tartt, which is also considered another classic. So they were saying that the dark academia aesthetic is so popular that a lot of people want to embody that and want to be studious and they want to learn the classics to fit that vibe. And I feel like we did a podcast on dark academia. Maybe we didn't. I don't know. Editing man can come in for here and tell us if we did it or not. Okay, before you judge me, we did this episode before the whole world discovered how bad AI actually is for the environment, and I haven't used AI since learning this, but we did do a dark academia episode. It was from season 10, episode 1, and it was called AI Picks My Topic Number 1. I know, I learned from my mistakes. I don't use AI anymore. And then we also did a general academia aesthetic episode, season 5, episode 8. Thank you for that. And that apparently is the last thing I took from that source. And the other source is our last and final source. Source number 3 is penguin.co.uk. And it is Why Read the Classics by Italian journalist Italo Calvino. He actually originally wrote this article in 1986. He published it in some newspaper or something. But Penguin uploaded it on their website October 12th of 2023. And he gave 13 reasons why we should read classics. He also gave explanations behind his 13 reasons. I didn't write all that down because at this point in my research, I was getting tired of writing because I handwrite all my notes. So we're just going to go. Give her a little 2 cents along the way. Number 1, the classics are those books about which you usually hear people saying, I'm rereading, never I'm reading. And he was going to the point saying it's a lot of these books we've read as a youth, so it technically is a rereading, but I get it. Number 2, the classics are those books which constitute a treasured experience for those who have read and loved them, but they remain just as rich an experience for those who reserve the chance to read them for when they are in the best condition to enjoy them. I don't feel like I can give 2 cents on half this stuff because I feel like they're pretty self-explanatory. Number 3, the classics are books which are particular influence both when they implant themselves on our imagination as unforgettable and when they hide in the layers of memory disguised as the individuals of the collective unconscious. He's basically just saying we're always thinking about them in some way, shape, or form. I also forgot to mention these are direct quotes. This is exactly what the website had. Number 4, a classic is a book which with each rereading offers as much of a sense of discovery as the first reading. And honestly, I feel that so much. I feel like if I read The Great Gatsby for the 3rd or 4th time, I would find something new with that. Number 5, a classic is a book which even when we read it for the first time gives the sense of rereading something we have read before, probably because everybody takes inspiration from them. Number 6, a classic is a book which has never exhausted all it has to say to its readers. Number 7, The classics are those books which come to us bearing the aura of previous interpretations and trailing behind them the traces they have left in the culture or cultures, or just in the languages and customs through which they have passed. Basically, to sum that up in a very Gen Z way, is it still feels relevant today, which is so true. A lot of people keep saying 1984 is scarily accurate to what's happening in today's world. And part of me really wants to read 1984 because I don't remember reading that in school, but I'm scared. Not that I'm not going to understand it, because I have learned that classics actually aren't that scary. And they're actually not that big books. Like, I bought Frankenstein and Dracula a couple of years ago, and I keep telling myself I'm going to read them, but I'm like, oh no, they're too big of a book. They're literally between like 200 and 300 pages. The fantasy books I read are more than that. So they're not even that intimidating, but something in my mind, and I feel like a lot of our minds, and I feel like it goes back to how we were forced to read them in school, it makes classics seem scary, but they're not. Number 8, a classic is a work which constantly generates a pulverized chord. Nope. Pulviscular chord. I don't know what that means. Editing, Meg? To be honest, even Google couldn't help me, but from multiple sources I found, it was referencing a musical texture that was a cloud or dust-like. It kind of seems like he made up this term. Thank you for that. A critical discourse around it, but which always shakes the particles off. I don't know what that word means, so I can't elaborate on it. Number 9, classics are books which, the more we think them through, hearsay, the more original, unexpected, and innovative we find them when we actually read them. Number 10, a classic is the term given to any book which comes to represent the whole universe, a book on par with ancient talesmen. Number 11, it had a little quote around the word your. So your classic is a book to which you cannot remain indifferent and which helps you to find yourself in relation or even in opposition to it. Number 12, a classic is a work that comes before other classics, but those who have read other classics first immediately recognize its place in the genealogy of classic works. Which I have seen, I have seen people say like books that are written today they think are going to be classics in the future. And one of them that always gets referenced is Normal People by Sally Rooney. And I read that book 3 years ago. And let me tell you, I didn't really like it. But everyone's saying it's like genius and like the best book ever. So I feel like I need to reread it now that my frontal lobe has been fully developed, because maybe I'll feel different. But the 2 things I remember not liking about that book is the first one, there's no quotation marks. It's just words. I don't even think there was indentations for paragraphs. So it gets very confusing trying to figure out what someone's saying versus not saying. And the second thing, the characters were just so insufferable, but not in a good way. It was like they were doing actions and then receiving consequences for those actions, and they were confused why there was consequences. And the last one they gave, but we scared too much, is a classic is a work which relegates the noise of the present to a background hum, which at the same time the classics cannot exist without. And I lied, that wasn't the last one. Apparently there's 14. Here's the last one, number 14. A classic is a work which persists as background noise even when a present that is totally incompatible with it holds sway. Basically, what I'm getting from that is a classic is always relevant in some way, shape, or form. And then to end this episode, I wrote down some 2026 movie and TV show adaptations they say we're going to be getting of classics. And besides Wuthering Heights, which I've referenced a lot, The Odyssey is getting turned into a movie. Pride and Prejudice, I think they said a TV show. The Count of Monte Cristo, East of Eden, Sense and Sensibility, and Lord of the Flies. Which honestly, I really want to watch Lord of the Flies. I think they're saying it's going to be a Netflix TV show series. I remember reading that book and being like so disturbed by it. But also when I read it, I was picturing the little kids as the Lost Boys from Peter Pan. So part of me wants to reread The Lord of the Flies, but the issue is, since all these classics are now becoming adaptations, they're putting that stupid permanent sticker that's not a sticker on it that's saying like, now a major motion picture, now coming to Netflix, now this. And I hate is a strong word. I don't use that lightly. I hate when books do that. They're like printing the stickers on. Like, don't even ruin the cover. But that's my thoughts on classics. I personally believe classics are becoming trending because of all the book and movie adaptations we're getting lately. And it makes me wonder, like, why are we getting so many book adaptations coming to a screen? Is it because there's a literacy issue? So are they making them come to screen because then it makes you want to read them to compare and contrast? I don't know. Another theory I thought of is BookTok and BookTube and Book whatever is so popular all over social media to the point it created this resurge of going to bookstores. So could this also be a result of social media? But before we end this episode, we're going to pull our affirmation. We're using the Inspired by Frida by Akal Pritam deck. So let's cue some ASMR shuffling that's never ASMR shuffling, but maybe one day it will be. So the last time I used this deck, it literally didn't let me shuffle. A card flew out at us. Also, I feel like I have no space to shuffle in here today, and I don't know why, because nothing's different. Oh, one just fell out because I got distracted by a picture of another one. Oh, it kind of goes with the episode. Alrighty, let's cue the drum roll, please. Make a journey of your creative destiny, a very beautiful, intricate picture of your dreams. That is our affirmation for the week. So, the next time that you're seeing a classic being adapted into a movie or a TV show, or you're seeing them all over social media, just know they are still relevant in today's world, and you might actually enjoy them now that you're not forced to read them. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Hey Guys, It's Meg. You can follow Hey Guys, It's Meg _podcast on Instagram for updates and good times. Come back next Monday at 9 a.m. where I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about the book to movie pipeline we've been seeing a lot lately. I'll see you all on the flip side. Peace out, Girl Scouts.